I think there are lots of things, lots of reasons why materials are becoming really important, and not just for designers, but for consumers, and not just for one type of product, but for products, for buildings, for cars. And I think it's driven a lot to do with sustainability, because we need to find sustainable solutions for our thirst for consuming things, consuming phones and consuming cars. And this obviously drives designers to need to find materials and processes or ways of using these things that are going to make less of an impact on the environment. Then I think there is another area which is to do with cultural trends, and I think it's tied in with why certain aspects of our lives in 2011 need materials to address them. So the idea that we need soundproofing, or we need antibacterial surfaces, or we need buildings that control heat in very smart ways. I mean, these are themes that, you know, 50 years ago we didn't need antibacterial things. We didn't need materials for environments, interiors that absorb sound. You know, these were not issues. And I think now we have much more complex lives and drivers that materials need to facilitate these things, and where there are issues, there are opportunities for someone to develop a new material. Yeah, I think we're in a material age, but one of the things that I think defined the last 100 years of a materials age, you know, plastics being a big part of that, was that plastics changed the visual language of our products. It's changed our environments in a very visual way. We had color, we had different shapes, we had multiples of a single shape that fueled consumerism. And I think the next generation, the next 100 years, the impact of materials isn't going to be so easy to see. It's not going to be visual. The visual references will be much about something else. I think the impact that materials are going to have in the future are going to be on the way that we interact with surfaces, or we interact with environments, or we interact with touch points. I mean, mobile phones, we interact through a glass screen. It's the combination of that technology with the material that is going to be driving us, driving the visual language of a phone. It's not going to be, oh, we can make this color and we can make this texture. And I think the idea of more and more products being interfaced with us through glass, I think is going to be a big driver. And it's not about what things look like. I don't think we'll see a big visual change. I think we'll see something much more hidden or beneath the surface. It will change the way that we react to things, but I don't think it will change the way that things will look. I mean, it won't be like the vision of the 2000s back in the 1960s, where everything was streamlined, and it won't be like that. I think it will look very much like it does now, the world. I think that just the technology is going to be giving us different experiences. I think it's a really important moment, because you could say that at the moment we have reached the point where the evolution of new materials has come to, in one area, comes to the end. The next step change in materials will lead to something completely different. And I don't think that's going to be the next 10 years or 15 years. I think it's beyond that. And I think it's a good point now to say, we're at this very important stage where the aspect of materials has defined our cultural identities through what the things look like. But I think in the future, and we can see that now with the technology, it's going to be something else. And we're at this point where things are changing, and they're changing very quickly. And this connection that we're going to have with technology will become radically different. So I think it's a great time to have an exhibition, because there are some amazing things out there that you need as a designer to tell people about. Say, look, this amazing material changes color when you stretch it, or you know, it gives you this kind of, it generates its own electricity when you jump up and down on it, you know, and I think these are really interesting things, not just for designers, people in the industry, but also for consumers, for people who are just interested in the future.